Name is Avimaan Syam, and I was out at Winedale in the summer program in 2004 and 2005, and I was the assistant director at Camp Shakespeare in 2007. The word is formative. No experience in my life has formed who I am more than Shakespeare at Winedale. And that might sound like hyperbole, but literally, I'm married to someone who went to Winedale. There's not one day that I don't speak to one of my friends that I was out at Winedale with. The way that it taught me to collaborate, to experiment, to be playful, the purpose that it gives you on a day-to-day basis and lets you know that if you work towards that purpose and try your hardest, that you can achieve something great. It's something that and I know the rest of the Winedalers carry with them for the rest of their lives. So Winedale has not only given me the closest people to me in my life and a community around me, but a basis with which to communicate and interact with the rest of the world for the rest of my life. And that is something that I am just so grateful for. And it's formed who I am. Summer of 2004, we had a lot of nature happening, a lot of storms. And we were also doing a play called The Tempest, which begins with a storm. And we had a huge storm that had come in the late afternoon for a night performance that basically knocked the power out and was flooding the barn. So as the class, we had to grab all the sandbags and kind of push all the water out. And then the show must go on. We drove in trucks to put lights on the stage and kind of did the play by car light. And, you know, it was so emblematic of like what Winedale is about everybody pitching in and getting together to figure out how to solve a problem in the best possible way and just saying yes to each other. And that play, I was lucky enough to play Caliban in that play, and it was very special to be a part of such a magical experience there. And you know, all of the times, you know, we do these things. I imagine James is still doing it, where we'll take the play while we're still working with it, and we'll do scenes all over the property. And similarly, in 2005, we were doing Hamlet, and it hadn't rained for like 2 months the next summer. And then Rotimi, this fantastic actor who was the player king in the play within the play of Hamlet, did that big speech that like he basically brought the storm himself with his powerful voice, and we had to run inside the whole group because of that storm. And it was just like so interwoven with the actual play. So I think it's just one of the very special things about Winedale is the physical place Winedale, and how so much of theater and creation sometimes can happen in indoor spaces or spaces that aren't really unique or special. And so anybody who's been inside the barn or around the Winedale property understands how special that is. And it's a connection that you almost take for granted from creating within it, but there's just nothing else like it. The older we get, and the more complications and mortgages and jobs and things that get into our life, the world can seem very difficult and complex. And Winedale has always been a way to, it's almost like a paradigm of, it's a way to simplify what you're thinking about and get to what the heart of the matter is and what's true. And Winedale kind of always taught me to just go for it and find what was most important. And that sounds ambiguous, but it means finding the people that are most important to you, saying yes, which is a harder thing to do than people think, and just believing in yourself and going for it no matter what. I remember the first summer that we were out there, you know, some people go to Shakespeare at Winedale and they're very seasoned in theater, so to speak. I had almost never sat on a stage before I went out to Winedale. And Steve Price came out and he did this exercise where the idea was you sat on your back and you went limp, and then you had 4 different people moving your limbs around, and you were just supposed to let your body be limp and feel how other people move your body around. And I literally couldn't do that. I could not let my body be moved by other people. And then, you know, coming around the next year when we did the same thing and Steve came out and did the wonderful workshop again, I was able to do that. You know, I had been able to give myself up to this community and to this process and just say yes. And I don't think I would have been able to do that without Winedale. And, you know, I was lucky enough to get to work with Doc as well as James when I was the assistant director out of Camp Shakespeare. And I think Doc had a way of seeing people that needed to get shaken out of their shells and find a new comfort zone, or, you know, find their way out of their comfort zone to break through. And I think that that's kind of interwoven into what Winedale is. It's something that gives you an ability to find like a new gear and a new perspective. I know I'm mixing metaphors here, but that's really what I gained out of Winedale, was understanding parts of me that I didn't know that I could change into. The friends in the community are almost like secondary to that understanding that you can do more than you ever thought you could if you just say yes.